So Halloween, my wife and I disagreed about this when the kids were little, um, and now we do actually agree because she was right. And when I first got married to Grace, I thought, well, it's kids dressing up, it's eating candy, having fun. I'm pro kid, I'm pro candy, I'm pro fun. Grace was like, but there's so much demonic, like witchcraft, zombies, vampires, skeletons, and also the way that grown women dress, it's reprehensible. And so we had a little disagreement about this. And so Grace was flexible with me. And I was like, well, if they dress up like a baseball player or a princess and we go to people's house that we know that are neighbors and they get candy and we have fun. But I would say now that I've gotten a little bit older, it seems to me, maybe it seems to you, Halloween's gotten even darker. And it is a celebration of darkness and evil, and it's going back to its pagan roots of witchcraft and demonism. And I was thinking about it the other day. I've got grandkids now, and the two boys are just starting to walk, so they're at eye level. But if you take them into a store, even now at eye level, you've got goblins and ghosts and ghouls, you've got skeletons, you've got sort of moving witches and cackling and dark music. And it's like, man, that has got to be like terrifying and traumatizing for a little guy because he doesn't know that all of this is just sort of imaginary make-believe by adults who want to terrorize them. So when it comes to holidays in general, let me get above it all, because different Christians in different periods of time, they protested different holidays. I'll give you another example. So the Puritans, Christians, they worked on Christmas to protest Christmas because they were against celebrating the holiday because of its pagan roots in Saturnalia, which was a pagan Roman holiday. The Jehovah's Witnesses, of course a cult, they do not celebrate birthdays because the only people in the Bible that celebrate their birthdays are demonic pagan kings, and so they will reject birthdays. So the question is, when it comes to different holidays, first, I guess this is what comes to mind, is it really a holiday? A holiday is a holy day. That's what it means. A holiday or a holy day would be like Easter, the resurrection of Jesus, or Christmas, the birth of Jesus. A holiday, a holy day, most assuredly would not be Halloween. There's three categories: receive, reject, redeem. I've used these for a long time. There are certain things that a Christian can just receive because it's good or morally neutral. There are things that we must reject because they're just evil and wrong. And there are things that we can redeem. For example, there's no such thing as Christian abortion. There's no such thing as Christian adultery. There's no such thing as Christian drunkenness. We need to reject those things because there's no way of those being holy and used for the Lord. There are things that we can redeem. I would say, for example, I would say a birthday. A birthday is something you can receive. You can celebrate. This is the day that God brought me into the world, and this is the day that I entered into God's destiny for my life. And so even though birthdays aren't mandated or even celebrated by God's people in the Bible, it seems like if we're pro-life, we can celebrate the birth of life. The hard question are things like Halloween, and that is, can we redeem them? Is there a way to celebrate in a way that would be honoring to Christ and good for conscience? This is where there are different holidays that you've got to consider. For example, like Pride Month, that's a quote-unquote unholiday that we need to reject. There's no way to redeem it. There's no way to do, trans for Jesus. When it comes to Halloween, when Grace and I were first married, her view was we need to reject it. Mine was we can redeem it. I would say that the Christians can hold either position. I don't think as a Christian you can just receive it and say, we're going to do witchcraft and demonism and darkness and sorcery and seances and all the drama. I would have said we can redeem it. And some Christians try and redeem it with something like Reformation Day or celebrating the Protestant Reformation and the Reformers, which was around the same time, which is just a weird homeschool way of trying to redeem it with odd Puritan costumes and no candy, which tends to reduce the fun. So now that I'm a grandpa, summary, I can't receive it, and just celebrate it with my now 4 beautiful grandkids. If their parents want me to reject it, I'll reject it and honor their parental authority. And if there's a way to redeem it, it would be actually not calling it Halloween or having anything to do with Halloween, buying them presents, buying them treats, letting them dress up, have lots of fun, and not be involved in any of the nonsense, but just make it a special day with Grandpa. If their parents want to redeem it, that would be my go forward plan as of now. Because my kids are all grown, we're not dealing with it, but it was a divisive point in our marriage early on. And honestly, I think Grace was right. Today, I would lean more toward the reject.